Hey, what's up, DNC Performance? We're back at the shop and kind of jumping around a little bit. Yesterday, we got Jeff's motor all installed. Um, Motor mounts are in. Had to cut the turbo kit. Yada yada. Today, I decided to address the wiring. All the extra plugs that don't need to be in there, the extra wires that don't need to be in there, and then coming across the front end, somebody at one point had done, like maybe it got cut or messed up somehow or another, but somebody had spliced these back together, and there was a couple of them that were actually broke, and one of them was a ground and one of them was for the horn on the passenger side. I don't remember what the other one was for. Oh, the big bolt, the big like bumper light. This one might not be that wire particularly, but the other bulb is here somewhere. Here it is, brown one. So yeah, you can see it's stripped. You kind of see it's stripped, and it pulled out of the butt connector. Good thing is we're not using this. These go down in the bumper. These are the turn signals. So there's one there and one there next to each other. This is the mess that I took out of the truck so far. And then I stripped it all down. These are the grounds that, for whatever reason, the grounds on this side ran all the way across and grounded over there. And it could be that it grounded on the fender where the battery, like right there or something, like the battery ground went, so they grounded that direct to battery, in a sense. So that's fine, but we don't need all that, so I'll cut all that out. And what I'll do is, this will be a ground. Yeah, this will be the headlight ground. And then we're turning the side marker into a blinker, which I think already does blink, because it has the same wires as the turn signal, except the turn signal had a ground that just went to ground. It was in that big pile of grounds that I just pulled out. So these, in theory, there's a light blue and a dark blue, should blink in theory. So we'll see how that works out. Here's what's left for a ground, is just this one, which I just kind of wrapped around to kind of hold the wires together. I'm going to redo these butt connectors here, get rid of the rest of this loom. And I'm only going to loom right now from the plug right there, which I may even change the plug. Not sure. I may not. See, here's where my brain goes off the rails. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 wires in there. So I mean, I could use like an 8-pin Deutsch connector, and it would be a lot smaller of a plug. This thing's huge. And then attach it up to the fender somehow with like those wire clips. But he's talking about doing like a fiberglass front end possibly later on down the road. So I don't know. And then I removed, there's a plastic piece that's right there. This piece sits like this. Sits like that on top of the booster, and it housed the big plug like for the wires to pass over. And out of that entire harness, the only wires that I had connected were 2 grounds and the starter solenoid. So most likely what I'm gonna do is put, it's gone, lost it. Damn, dude, I lose everything. Oh, there it is. Put the ground terminal here, and I'll run like a main ground cable to one of the posts, and then I'll just connect the grounds directly to this. I thought I had a smaller one, but I don't think I do. Yeah, I do not see it on the shelf. So, no, I don't have the smaller one. I used to have a smaller one that was just 2 posts. Oh yeah, there it is. Look at that, huh? Look at that. So I can use this one. And, oop, it'll be a little cleaner. Smaller, it won't be as big, and then I can use that one maybe inside the truck or something. But if I put that there, something, yeah, probably here, because if he wants to change the fenders and shit. So if I put that there, connect the grounds to it, should be good. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this mess today. I think I gotta order some 3-inch exhaust tubing. I should probably look. Oy vey. This is what happens when you clean stuff up. Oh, I do have a piece actually. Look at here, look at here. Cool. So I have a U-bend left, which will give me 2 90s or a couple 45s. So I'll be able to redo the passenger side of the turbo kit. I plan to use as much of it as I can, in a sense. Like not connect down there, but cut that section of pipe out, 90 it up, kind of like that, and then roll it over to that. Actually, maybe I'll copy this in a sense. I'll come up to about this height, 90 it up into the turbo. So it would be, yeah, maybe, we'll see. I'll try and kind of copy this side as much as I can. So I'll probably end up getting that at least tacked together today, as long as I can get the wiring done. That's a big power block right there on the fender, because I see a whole bunch of fusible links, and as far as they're going inside the truck, so there's a random wire here. The bad part, well, it's actually not that bad, because you know what? That's actually not a plug. These wires continue through the firewall like they did the fender. That's how this year S10 was done, whereas mine was an actual plug. So I could actually peel the wires from this side through, figure out what they go to, where they go. Yeah, so that's the game plan for now. And then I'm not really sure what to do about this fuse box, because the 2 relays, the green and the yellow wire, they're running the headlights now. Then these were the power that went to a different distribution box that battery fed all the relays. So I got some thinking to do, and that might involve moving this block here to the firewall there, putting all the fusible links up on the firewall, back on this block up there, get the grounds up there, get rid of all these wires, and then the only thing I would need is headlight relays, which I might be able to just do 2 relays right there. And just extend the green and the yellow up. yeah, let me look at what I'm gonna do with this, but I'm gonna jump back on it. Try and get this wiring finished up here in the next few minutes or days, weeks. But yeah, give me a little bit. I'll be back. Well, it'll be immediate for you. It won't be a little bit, but I'll be right back. Okay. So I got the relays. I'm missing a relay, but I have the plug there. Headlights are fully wired. It's loomed all the way up. The only thing I didn't loom was the horn. Whatever. I got that little one loomed. That pile there, I kind of really haven't decided what to do with. Up to the connector here, inside, and that heavy gauge red right here is the actual headlight battery power, so that comes off of there. And then I took 3 of the screws out. I didn't quite see the one hiding way over there. Then I got that one out, so I got that whole section out. And this is where it becomes a giant pain in the ass. I'm gonna end up taking those these red ones up in here. You can't really see them. The red ones going out to that block, I'm gonna end up taking them off so I could pull everything in. I could disconnect the rear harness, but so this is screwed to that panel. Like this gets screwed onto there. It clips on, screws on. It's got this foam in between it, which has a little bit of glue. You can see where it's melted right there. That's because from the factory they use, like, I don't know, the world's fucking strongest hot glue or some shit. And they basically put all the wires in there, and they most likely, it looks like they have the foam and that panel on there, and then they like inject it in. You could see it's literally like in between every single wire. This is where it becomes a giant pain in the ass. It's like super hard to get these apart. And that's what I did over there. You can kind of see that rectangle hole behind the Holley fuse. It's blurry, but I pulled this out, ended up with like 4 wires, 6 wires, whatever it was, and I was like, yeah, no, we're not putting that back in. But it was a nightmare. This panel's even worse because this panel is solid. Like, I can't take this panel off this plug and then peel this plug apart. I have to figure out how to peel this plug off without destroying everything. I mean, it's got a clip here and on the other side, but I mean, what a pain in the ass. This is why I hate you, Jeff. But like, it doesn't look like a whole lot of wires are going to be going through that hole out of this harness. So I'm going to end up taking the whole dash out, because over here I left the factory fuse box and I used a bunch of these fuses, but there's still a bunch of them that are empty. Most likely I'll end up taking this out, taking this whole dashboard off to gut this entire harness, which is not really what I wanted to do, being that it's 2:40 in the afternoon. But probably what I'm going to end up doing. I'll spend the rest of today on doing this, getting this cleaned up. Also, yesterday I did get the throttle body, the elbow, not throttle body, well, the throttle, intake elbow and throttle body. I already had them kind of bolted together, but I had the throttle body flipped. I just liked the non-block side on the top, but regardless, I had to flip it back, and then I got the hole through the firewall. We're gonna shoot the intercooler tubing in the firewall, and then the intercooler is gonna hang over there on the inside, and then the tube's gonna come back out to the compressor housing over here. So I did get all that done. I got the throttle cable in, well, the braid part, the sleeve for it. I got that in up there. So this is the little plastic clip that comes like on the factory pedal, and if you squeeze these two and pop it out and then cut your factory one or whatever and take it out of this, you can save this clip. These cables come with this clevis, and you see the hole, that's where the cable goes through. And a lot of people will just take this whole clevis and stick it on the side of the pedal. It's fine, but to me it looks like shit. So I popped the clevis off. It has this little rod. See? It has this little rod in there, goes through there, and then it has a little C-clip. That's meant to like clip onto something, you know, and it would be clean. But I pop the C-clip, I take that off, I slide the whole cable out, take this piece off, and then on the end there's a ball already made, so that ball keeps it from going through there. Now when I slide this through the pedal, this clips back into the pedal, just like it did from the factory. I don't know. And then you cut it to size and all that, which I already cut the sleeve to size, so I only got to cut the cable once I get this piece on the throttle body, the stop or whatever it's called. So yeah, we're getting as many things done as possible. I did find that tube, so tomorrow I'll probably have to try and finish up the wiring and then jump on the turbo kit. It's definitely lower now that I put the shroud in so that I can put all the headlights on. It's definitely lower because these were like up almost, they were higher than this, to be honest with you. So they're definitely lower, and now I'll be able to place the wastegates now that all the changes are done. Fucker. I'll be able to place the wastegates and have good positioning on the wastegates for the exhaust to come and hit the bottom of the valve. It's a single turbo, it's a big turbo, but we got dual wastegates because it is a divided housing. So we could have good priority on the wastegates and everything. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. Tomorrow I'll update on the wiring, where we're at, all that crap, but I'm gonna hump back on it. That's the 2-gallon tank, the pressure switch. That is the switch panel. It's just a 2 switch, so one side's ignition, one side's starter. We're gonna switch some of the stuff up. We're gonna make that line lock. The steering wheel is gonna be trans brake and bump. I have no idea what this was. I think this was line, no idea what this switch is. This might have been the headlights, but I don't remember because I know this is for the headlights, so I don't know what this is. Jeff, if you know, tell me, because I don't freaking remember. But so yeah, plugging away. I'm gonna pull the dash and attack these wires the best I can without trying to have a meltdown. So I appreciate you watching. Thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, please. Hit the bell to be notified of new videos. Leave me a comment. Have a good day. Okay. So, kind of here's what I'm at. Gutted all the wiring out. I actually ended up taking that fuse box out because when I thought about it, this worked great for the old setup. And in this box there's relays and fuses, and 2 of the relays are for fans. 2 of the relays I believe are high beam or low beam or something like that. No, one's high, one's low beam. The other relay, not really sure what it went to. I think we actually eliminated something at one point, so it was like the 2 fans, high beam, low beam. but the two fans are getting moved to the back. Whatever else it was that we took out obviously isn't there. And then this was a spare slot. You can see there's no trigger and outgoing pins, just battery and 12 volt. So pretty much, like, we don't need this big box in there. So I took that out from over here and it was dangling. Oh, the other relay was for the line lock. Sorry. I moved that with all the solenoid wires from over here on those two tabs to over there. I cut the big plug out, put a 8-way Deutsch connector, and then just kind of twisted up all the spare wires, because I'm going to pull this plug out, which isn't a plug, it's actually like a plastic cap, and these are all glued together and then it's foamed and stuffed through. So I'll be able to, if you go way back to like the very beginning of this truck, I did it on that, inside that fender where it went to the ECU. I took that whole plug apart and I think it was down to like 4 wires, and it looked a lot like this. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm not gonna leave these, it looks like shit. These 3 wires down here, I know one is to trigger a line lock, and I'm not really sure. The other 2 I think are ignition power, so I have to just figure those out. Then the rear harness section is huge. Like, this plug is all the way up at the edge of the hood, so, and it runs all the way down to the frame, and then it's fine from there back, and it's only a few wires, but all the, whatever you call this crap, the wire cover, it's old and brittle garbage. So I'm going to pull it all off and then take these wires one by one, cut them, put them into another Deutsch connector. On this one there's 2, I can't really see how many there are. 1, 2, 7 on this one again. So 7 to the front, 7 to the back, and actually the front ended up only being 6. So there's 2 extra slots. And then the 2 headlights, so low beam, high beam, I don't remember which one's which. I'm actually just going to do 2 relays up here. I'll probably mount one here and mount one here, so we're not drilling any more holes or nothing like that. I'll mount them up here, wire these into the relays. I could bring battery off of here and then bring the 2 trigger wires out of here to trigger the relay, and then I could just self-ground the relays to here. I took the headlight ground, cut it short. I probably cut like 5 feet off of this one, put an eyelet on it, and used the nut for the headlight bracket, put it to there so it's nice and short. And so far to right here where these wires break out, I have the nice braided loom, and you can see it goes through there. And then I tucked it, you can barely see it, but I tucked it in between the front tube and the core support, if that's what you want to call it. Runs across. I got to put one more zip tie in the middle because it does kind of flip-a-doodle. And then came across, I pulled all the old loom off, all the way out to the little, what's going to be the side marker, blinker, whatever you want to call it. The headlight plugs right there. So it goes to there, it's all taped off. The ground is right to there. So, probably should have had the light on doing that, huh? So yeah, so now it's all nice. And I got rid of all those splices in the middle. I basically ran all brand new wire. You can see right here. Green, yellow, brown, blue. They're all brand new. Going all the way across. So there's no more butt connectors in the middle or nothing like that. The blue is for that blinker over there. it goes all the way to the fuse box. Though this light blue one goes all, not fuse box, Deutsch connector. So the dark blue and light blue go straight to the Deutsch connector. The yellow and green for the headlight coming from the other side connect right here. Like I said, oh geez, connect right here. The brown ties into the brown for the blinker, which is parking light. Hopefully it works. And then this wire is actually, this used to be the passenger side headlight, but when I split them to do the relay, that's why they're tied together here like this, so that I can run a bigger gauge wire into feeding the two. So with the thin coming in, this was tied to a thin wire, and that was the thing I had read on a forum like up this year and back, this basically the single headlight style. I think it's, I don't know, up to 94, 95, whatever it is. That was one of the flaws. The headlights would be real dim, or you would turn them on and like everything would kind of dim in the truck because it would, they draw so much power and the wiring was so small. So I did this last time, but yeah, so I mean pretty much all I have to do is the two relays for the headlights, run the triggers from the Deutsch connector back to the relays, wire loom that connector there, which, yeah, that was the other thing I was going to do, is take the line lock power and ground, put the ground on the fender, and then I was going to run the power into the Deutsch connector. But then I thought about it this way, disconnecting this, I could feed it back through, unplug the horn, disconnect the ground. That was the other thing I did too, is I took the horn ground and put it on the mounting bolt for it. So far it has a good ground, but you could feed this back through, take that ground off, and pull this whole harness out from here forward, or you could take it off with the front shroud. All you'd have to undo is the ground and unplug it, and you can pull the whole thing off. So I'm not going to put these through the Deutsch connector. I'm actually just going to I'm going to tie it on to the fender here, and maybe see, here we go again. I have nowhere to mount this connector. Not that I think it's going anywhere. The line lock solenoid, not that I think it's going anywhere, but I have nowhere to mount it over here. I'm gonna leave this to last, because I might take this, move it to the firewall. The bad thing is I can't really re-flare a brake line on the truck the way my flare tool works. I mean, I might be able to do it, like if I hold it, whatever, I don't know. I have no freaking idea what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm gonna start looming everything up and then get this connector pulled out, get all these wires pulled out, and then I'll switch out this back connector, get these loomed up. Yeah, I'm gonna do that and be back.